Austin. I love talking about the Rangers, and I'm here to recap Game 10 of the regular season. Rangers win over the Capitals, 4-2. There's so much to get into. Fantastic game of the Rangers. Shesterkin was great. Panarin was great. Strome scored 2. The new kid scored a goal. There's a lot to talk about. So getting right into it, to start with, we were wearing the retro reverse, the Liberty jerseys, which I think are gorgeous. They announced yesterday that we were going to wear them tonight, and the next 5 games we will wear them, counting today, so 6 in total. I'm hoping we add a game or so, and I'm also hoping these carry into next year, because these looked stunning on the ice, and I would be heartbroken if it's a one-and-done thing. Like, these are gorgeous, and I'm really hoping they continue these into next year. So, getting right into the first period, Washington has it in our zone. There's this nice setup pass to Ovechkin, who gets a breakaway. It's not much of one, but a little bit of a breakaway. And Shesterkin just doesn't open up, doesn't give him a place to shoot it, and stuffs Ovechkin, which, caps off. You're stuffing the greatest goal scorer of our generation, and the best one probably since Gretzky. I don't think that's much of a stretch to say. So, great first save for Shesterkin. He looked incredible tonight. So, very quickly in the game, 18-19 left in the first period. Panarin has it in the corner. He passes it out to Adam Fox. Adam Fox fires it at the goal, and Ryan Strome tips it in. Not even 2 minutes into the game, Rangers go up 1-0. Fantastic play by the Rangers. Great play to tip it in by Ryan Strome. He's really come into his own last year and is already doing so this year. So really caps off to him. 15-13, Washington takes a penalty. They're holding on Jacob Trouba. Rangers get a power play. They wouldn't do anything with the power play. The Rangers and Capitals were 0 for 7 tonight. Rangers were 0 for 3, Caps were 0 for 4 on power plays. So you can take that as A, very good penalty kills, or B, very poor power plays. I don't care. It was a little bit of both. It seemed like both teams controlled the puck really well on the power plays, but neither of them could just get any shots off. So, 10-ish minutes left, right about in the middle of the period. I didn't get an exact time on it. There was this weird shot that deflected like mid-shot at Shesterkin, and the reflexes on display by Shesterkin in this play were insane. Just, boom, gets a glove on it, makes the save. Fantastic save. To this point, he had 2 shots on goal, and both of them were highlight reel saves. Shesterkin, I can't say this enough, fantastic night tonight. 6:40 left in the game. There was looking like it might be this 2-on-1 going towards us, but Adam Fox makes this nice, I'm just going to call it a belly flop to break it away, or to break it up. Great play by Adam Fox. He played really well. Jacob Trouba played incredible tonight. Like, I can't give him enough credit. So that happened. 5:27, Mika, he took a bad penalty where he just kind of almost like threw the stick at a Capital. And again, nothing happened on the power play. Nothing happened on any of them. But bad play. So we had a good penalty kill. 40 seconds left. Philip DiGiuseppe had this really nice play where he just kind of picked the pocket of a Capital and just took it the other way. Nothing amounted from it, but it was a very nice play. Philip DiGiuseppe has really shocked me this year. He hasn't done a ton of scoring, but he has played really good hockey. It feels like he's always moving around and just can't stand still. Phil DiGiuseppe, fantastic night. Really just a great start to the season. Starts, and almost immediately, 19:50 left in the period, so 10 seconds in. Fantastic save by Igor Shesterkin. Looking super sharp. Fantastic reaction. I can't say enough good things about him tonight. He was incredible. 18:25 left in the period. Hayak makes a really nice stick play to break up a potential shot on goal for the Caps. I thought he looked pretty well tonight. I don't believe he played all too much, but for what he did play, he looked really good. So I want to say that. Some good defensive, not a lot of offensive, movement for him, but defensively I thought he had a fine to slightly above average game. So I wanted to put that in there. A little bit later in the period, Chara came on for a shift, and this has nothing to do with anything. But Zdeno Chara terrifies me because he's so big, and you don't really think about it sometimes, but then you'll see him next to like one of your players, and you're just like, good God, that guy's like a mountain. I understand that he's 43, and I understand that he isn't the same Zdeno Chara that he was back in the early 2010s, but this guy is still horrifying to see on the ice, and it's a fire drill whenever you see him start going towards a player of yours, or when you see him wind up to take a shot from the point. So I understand that he's older, but Zdeno Chara still terrifies me to no end. So, 14:49 left in the period. Caps take I believe it was a tripping call. Rangers get a second power play. Again, we wouldn't do anything with the power play, but we got one, and we just kind of fluttered it away. Again, I'm getting a little irritated with how much we just want to pass on power plays. I'd like to see more shooting instead of just passing it around. I understand you're looking for a shooting lane. I get that, but actually shoot. So, a little bit later on, 10:45, Anthony Bedetto. I didn't say his name the other night because I'm like, I couldn't remember it. But Anthony Bedetto. Unbelievable play to get a goal to make it 2-1. I have no words for this goal. He murdered the Capitals. This was, and I don't think I'm going to have any debate with this, the best goal by the Rangers this season. At the bare minimum, the greatest individual effort by a Rangers player this year to get a goal. He went the entire way around the net, looped back, went through I'm pretty sure he went through all 5 of the Washington Capitals, and then backhand goal. And I get super into stuff. I'll jump up, I'll cheer, but my jaw was just on the floor for this goal. It was unbelievable. I believe it was the first time he has had a point since for 3 years. I believe specifically it was 3 years and 10 months. Unbelievable goal for the hometown kid. And it's just, I was speechless. I couldn't believe what I saw. I was just staring at the television, just blown away. It was incredible. So a little bit later on in the period, 9:20-ish, about that time, Mika Zibanejad takes a call for slashing, and I'm like, cool, I want to cry. So, 7:13, I just had to put this in here. I believe it was still on the power play, maybe just a tiny bit left, but Shesterkin, the puck gets near him, and he pretty much just cleared the puck himself. Shesterkin is 100% this season going to get an assist, because he is so aggressive with his playing of the puck. He will shoot it down the entire ice and put it at their blue line. It is comical. I would bet good money he has an assist by the end of the season, and by the end of his career probably has a goalie goal. He really whips the puck around. 5:29 left in the period. Washington takes a penalty. Rangers get another power play. The penalty was a high stick on Miller, a very high stick on Keandre Miller. I was not pleased about that. Pretty much just hit him directly in the face. I think it was an accident, but it was still a very bad penalty. Nothing happens on the power play. Big shocker. 3:20 left in the period, and the Rangers get a too many men on the ice call, and I'm like, good, another power play for the Ovechkin-led Washington Capitals. Cool. Good move. 3:09 left in the period, excuse me. There was this really nice sliding play to break up a pass by Adam Fox. Again, he had a pretty nice night. 1:59, and Shesterkin it was an incredible slide to his right. He must have, it was incredible. Stops an Ovechkin one-timer. Really, really good stop, and a really good save by Shesterkin. Now, the next thing that happened was really weird. And I don't know how to describe it. The play goes out, right? It's a shot on goal. Shesterkin blocks it. And it bounces off the Capital that's right in front of him. And it, instead of going like this, boom, and then coming back, it just went straight up in the air over Shesterkin's glove and just kind of trickles into the goal. It was a super weird goal. I was just kind of like, what even happened? It was weird. There's sometimes, I would say most of the time, a goal can be blamed on someone. Either, maybe it was really good offense by the other team. Maybe it was a bad read by the goalie. Maybe it was a good screen. Maybe it was poor defensive play. This was just kind of weird. That was it. It was just a weird goal. I'm not even mad at Shesterkin. It wasn't his fault, really. It was just a weird, fluky goal that happened. 9 seconds left in the period a little bit later on. Brett Howden takes a penalty for slashing, giving the Capitals their third power play to that point. And at this point, I'm like, wow, we are taking a ton of penalties for a very good Capitals team who are sort of the toast of the East right now. And this is, like, we are not going to get lucky and just stop all of these power plays. Somehow we would, but I was kind of losing it there. And, you know, it would obviously carry over into the third period. But at that moment, I was just like, we cannot keep playing with fire, giving these really, really good teams power plays. We did it to the Penguins the other night, and I'm like, we can't be giving these teams with incredible players like Ovechkin and Crosby power plays and expect to not have to pay for them. Somehow, through both of those games, we didn't. I believe we were 0-10, or 10 for 10 on penalty kills against the Crosby Penguins and the Ovechkin Capitals, which is absolutely just insane that can happen. It starts, we're on the penalty kill, we kill off that penalty fine. Nothing happens for the first, 8.5 or 7.5 minutes, I guess I should say. Nothing really happens, just some puck movement. But then, at 12:05 left in the period, Kaapo Kakko has this really nice defensive play where he just can get his stick out far enough and puts the puck past it in Ochara. He gets it over to Strome on a breakaway. Strome passes it over to Panarin when they're getting close to the goal, and Panarin, with incredible patience, to wait till he's almost dead even with the goalie, passes it back over to Strome. He puts it in the net. Goal, 3-1 Rangers. I'm super pumped, and I will say this for the goalie for Washington. Don't feel bad, man. There was nothing he could have done. Even if you blocked the one by Strome, Kaapo Kakko was maybe a foot or two behind him, so, I mean, it was almost, I don't want to say it was a 3-on-1 breakaway, because it really wasn't, but it was like a 2.5-on-1 breakaway, essentially. Like, there was not much you could have done. That was going to be a goal no matter who you have in net. You could have Patrick Waugh on steroids in the playoffs at that moment, and it's still going to be a goal. There was pretty much nothing anyone could do at that moment. So a few minutes later, 8:59, it was kind of absurd. Right, so puck drop, face off in our zone, and Ovechkin just goes in like a heat-seeking missile, and then boom, right over the shoulder of Shesterkin, and I'm like, I watched it, and I wasn't even mad, I was just impressed that he did it like the way he did. I'm like, wow, that's impressive, man. I mean, I know he's one of the best players in NHL history, I know he's one of the best goal scorers ever, but freaking, that was just still a beautiful goal to see. It sucked that it was against us, and I hate that fact. But super nice goal by Ovechkin. That makes it 3-2, getting a little bit close, and I'm like, oh, please don't lose another one in the third period and or overtime. Please, Rangers, I believe in you. We wouldn't somehow. So, a little bit later on in the period. Now, this was, I try to keep my composure a lot of times. This was insane. So 8:01 left in the period, right? And a Capital just reaches his leg out. This is my arm. Just reaches his leg out and trips Kaapo Kakko. And if you watch it, it's like the Capital shin right on Kaapo Kakko's kneecap. Looks super awful, right? Kaapo Kakko obviously goes flying because a person just essentially kicked you in the kneecap. So obviously you're going to react to that in pain, wouldn't you say? Penalty, obviously, on the Capital, but then there's a penalty on Kaapo for embellishment. Are you kidding me? What do you want him to do? He just had a person kick him in the kneecap. What do you want him to do? Go, hark, that hurt, and then fall to the ground? Do you want him to keep skating? Because if he would have done that, guess what? You wouldn't have called it, because someone would have been like, well, it wasn't that bad if he could keep skating. Like, I don't get what, like, And I know there's already so many reviews on hockey the way it is, and so I don't want to say something like, we should add review embellishment to see if it really was. And I'm not saying that because I understand there's already so many reviews. There's the offside review that takes forever. There's goalie interference that takes forever. I understand that you can't review everything under the sun in every single sport. But when you have something like this that happens, that is such a terrible call for a Capital kicking him in the kneecap, And it doesn't get called, and instead of getting a power play at this moment, which would have been huge for the Rangers, because momentum was starting to shift in favor of the Capitals, and instead of having a power play, you have a 4-on-4, it kind of makes you want to lose your mind a little bit. I had to get that out, because I was losing it. I'm like, how can you call that embellishment? Like, what as a referee would you be looking for him to do? Just grab his knee and go, hark, that felt not fun. Like, I don't get it. It was absurd. I hated it. I was losing it. I was screaming more so than I just was. 4-on-4, nothing happened. Thank God. If they would have scored, I would have been losing my ever-loving mind. Nothing happens, essentially, for the next 7.5 minutes. It's just kind of, moving the puck around, passing back and forth. About 2 minutes, they remove their goaltender. And then 26 seconds left in the game. Panarin gets the puck. He passes it over to Mika Zibanejad. Zibanejad carries it into the zone. He passes it over to Buchnevich. Buchnevich puts it in on an empty net. Goal, 4-2 Rangers. Panarin, Mika got the assists, and Buchnevich obviously got the goal. 4-2. It's over at that point. And then at the end of the game, Lemieux kind of was pulling shenanigans with the goalie. The goalie pulled shenanigans on Lemieux. They started, the fight starts, and Kevin Rooney got beat in a fight, so that sucked. That was pretty much it. I like Kevin Rooney's initiative to go get in a fight for his teammates. Like, I appreciate that. I would say he's off to a good few last games. A couple of goals. He had an assist tonight. And granted, he lost the fight pretty bad, but he stuck in it for a while, and he was defending a teammate, so I'm not going to complain about it, especially at the end of the game. So, some statistics for the game, because I wanted to bring some up. Caps, obviously, were 0-4 on the power play, and the Rangers were 0-3. Our power play has been comically bad. I really don't have that much to say about our power play, other than the fact that it has been horrific so far. Trouba had an incredible defensive game, 9 blocked shots, 4 hits, in 24 minutes and 42 seconds time on ice. I really like that because it is 2-4-4-2. So that's nice. Now, Trouba hasn't done much offensively this season, but his defense has been superb. And I really can't say enough about it. Again, I know a lot of people wanted Trouba for some offense, but I'm pretty content with him so far this year. I think his defense has been very, very good. Adam Fox had a pretty nice defensive game. He was out there for 26 minutes and 27 seconds. Adam Fox being a warrior out there for what felt like forever. I want to get a few more time on ice, or some ice time for the Rangers, see who had over 20 minutes. Sorry about that. Just had to find the sheet. Strome had 21:42. Lindgren had 21:16. Keandre Miller had another 22-minute game. Keandre Miller wasn't fantastic or anything tonight, but he was fine. I just feel like bringing that up. Mika Zibanejad had 19:20. Panarin had 20:21, so he was quite a few 20s. How much was Kapokako out there for? He was back, obviously, so that was really nice. Kapokako had 14 minutes and 13 seconds. I loved, by the way, I had to say this, I loved the second line of Kapokako, Panarin, and Strome. Gotta run that for the rest of the year, right? Fantastic line. I was super upset that we moved that line around after the first game. I was kind of irritated about it. I was like, you didn't really give it that much time to develop as a line. I wasn't a fan of that. Thankfully, it's back now. Hopefully, they will keep it like that. On to the goals. So Strome had 2 goals. Betendo had a goal. Buchnevich had an empty net goal. And the assists were for Kevin Rooney, Adam Fox, Kapokako, Mika Zibanejad, and Panarin with his second consecutive 3-point night. What's funny is before last game, in the pregame of the national broadcast, they were saying how Panarin was off to a really slow start, and now he has 6 points in 2 games, which I think is hilarious. Again, I can't say it enough. Shesterkin, fantastic night. Unbelievable. 31 of 33 saves, 6 for 6 on power play. I believe he was 6 for 7 on Ovechkin, which, I mean, I'm not going to complain about that. That was a pretty good shutdown of Ovechkin, including a couple of gorgeous saves on Ovechkin. So you did really good on that one. Again, caps off. You gotta let him roll into the next game, Quinn. Please, for the love of God, let Shesterkin play the next game against the Islanders. Which, that is our next game. It is Monday against the Islanders. Which sucks that I am going to go Friday, Saturday, Sunday without a game. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. Because tomorrow's game against the Devils has been postponed due to COVID stuff. Oh no. Hopefully I don't get removed from YouTube. I'm just going to roll with it. So that got postponed. So yeah. That's it for that. I want to say this also, because I feel like it's very important. We started off in our first 6 games with 3 points. A win and an overtime loss. In the last 4, we've gotten 7 of the 8 possible. We have 3 wins and an overtime loss. Now, I don't want to say this is where I expected us to be, but hopefully we can carry the momentum of the last 4 games forward. If we want any chance of playoffs, which again, I'm not like expecting playoffs, I'm not like saying, oh, we got to make the playoffs this year, but if we want to make the playoffs, take everything you've learned from these games, get the power play working, and just keep on rolling. Islanders next, 7 p.m. on Monday. I'll see you after that game. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and go Rangers.